Hey guys, welcome to sportstalkreview.com. We are talking Gold Cup. Very interesting indeed with Martin Green and Alex from need4tips.com. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Hey Natalie,
Hey, Nat.
great to be here. Great to be here.
Yeah, looking very relaxed there, Martin, I have to say.
I am very relaxed. I've just been on holiday to Portugal, so I've just got off the plane and I'm ready to talk Gold Cup. I'm hiding in the bedroom with the babies asleep in the next room, so I've retreated.
Well, listen, there's 12 teams that are competing, and but we do have a couple of teams. One of them, I believe, is not even, is it FIFA registered? It's the French. Do you even know how to say that? French Guiana.
Guyana.
Yeah.
So teams like this, what does it mean for the competition? Obviously, we've got Martinique, we've got French Guiana, Curacao, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and sort of like the underdogs of the competition. What do you think about that, Martin?
I think that Gold Cup proves to be a great tournament for the young players for these teams, with putting some international experience to them. Martinique, Nicaragua, French Guiana, for sure there are teams that they will not do any point on this competition. But who knows after all what other teams might expect and what squads they will use.
Yeah, normally, obviously, a lot of emphasis is given on the host country, which is the USA. You can get them now 2.7, but it's Mexico that are favored 2.25, and Mexico obviously fresh from the Confederations Cup. We believe that they will be using a different squad. Will any of the players that played in the Confederations Cup be playing in this Mexico team, Martin?
3 of them.
Three of them.
It's largely a new squad that he's testing. I think they sent a lot of their big guns to Russia for the Confederations Cup. They're taking that one a lot more seriously. But this is going to give an opportunity for some younger players and some less heralded players to show that they're good enough to earn a spot on the plane for Russia 2018 World Cup. Similar to the approach that Germany just took to the Confederations Cup, giving a lot of youngsters and a lot of players that are on the fringes a chance to really shine through. But I think, yeah, they have proved that the Confederations Cup was the main priority for them. Also, this tournament falls quite badly for the players that are playing in Europe because they have to start pre-season training with their clubs basically this week. So a lot of the ones that play in Europe, which is a lot of the best players, aren't going to make this at all. So it's more of a chance for some MLS players, some of those playing in the Mexican domestic league and various leagues dotted around Central America, chance for them to really stake their claim for a place at the World Cup.
Yeah, which actually what it does though, it does sort of lend to a sort of high intensity, lots of goals as the sort of the younger players are sort of keen to impress. What are you saying, Alex?
Plus, some bad news also for Mexico. Mexico's attack took a big hit in a friendly game against Paraguay a few days ago. With their main firepower, Guadalajara's Alan Pulido suffered a fractured arm. So I think that he will not play in the Gold Cup. So that was their main attacking player. So I think that right now they are in big trouble, if you ask me.
Okay, so listen, in the end of the day, we've got the two shortest odds for both Mexico and USA. For our viewers here, I'm looking at Bet365. We've got Mexico 2.25, USA 2.7, Costa Rica 7, and then it takes a jump. Panama 17, Honduras 21, Jamaica 26, followed by the next jump. Canada 34, El Salvador 41, Curacao 41, and then we then get to the real underdogs: Nicaragua 126, French Guiana 151, and Martinique 201 there. So a big difference. Is it really a two-horse race, not a legged one, a two-horse race between Mexico and USA, Alex?
No, I don't think so. Team USA have a weak squad, lacks of experience with some of their star players missing. I'm talking about Christian Pulisic, Clem Dempsey, Altindor, and the 16 of their 23 players from this squad being from MLS. With 13 of them have made only 8 or fewer previous appearances with the national team. So I think that USA it will be a weak team. Their only advantage will be that they are hosting this tournament. So that is the only advantage for Team USA. I think it's also looking at Costa Rica here. I think that Costa Rica has a beautiful squad with Brian Ruiz from Sporting Lisbon, with Brian Oviedo from Sunderland, Joel Campbell from Arsenal, and so on. So I think that we should look at Costa Rica. If you ask me, I think that the best value is on Costa Rica right now.
Well, listen, living here, that would be absolutely awesome. But obviously with Martin making a point, obviously with the pre-season plays taking place, you know, players like Keylor Navas in goalie, obviously Real Madrid's goalie, will Real Madrid let him play? Do we know whether Keylor Navas is playing?
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's a pretty instrumental. I think he's pretty good. I went recently to go and see a game with him playing here in Costa Rica, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, who they manage to retain. Does anybody know, for example, which players will not be playing in the Costa Rican squad?
I think apart from Keylor Navas, they've got a pretty decent representation. But you could argue that that's because none of their players are all that important to their clubs. I mean, Joel Campbell's not exactly anywhere near the Arsenal starting 11, for example. So
no, he was in Portugal on loan, and he returned right now on Arsenal back this year. So I think that he didn't play a lot last season, and this is why I think that he came back to Arsenal. But I think that he will not stay, and they will loan him again to another team.
Okay, so you're saying right now Costa Rica has the value that's priced at 7, not bad at all. What are your thoughts on the outrights there, Martin?
Yeah, I think Costa Rica do look interesting. Panama are a decent side as well.
Wait, Martin, Martin, I think you're covering the speaker or something. A little bit muffled.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think Costa Rica has a decent side. They've got some good attackers. Joel Campbell is a very good player for this level of football. I think Panama is quite an interesting dark horse. They've got a very good defence. They earned a 1-1 draw with USA quite recently. So I think those are the two that could upset things. But yeah, it is a bit of a two-horse race for me, I think. I feel like Mexico is the strongest team here. And if anyone is going to actually stop them, it would be the USA. I think home advantage counts for a lot. A lot of these MLS players will be on their home turf, and you get some passionate home support. USA often also plays a lot better than you'd expect them to as well. They always seem to perform better than the actual quality of the individual players would suggest. So they're typically more than the sum of their parts. I think there'll be quite a big threat to Mexico here. It's a bit of a shame to see both players resting their biggest names. There is a clause. If you reach a certain part of this competition, there are players that you can call up. So they could make it out of the group stage, and if they could persuade someone like Christian Pulisic to turn up, to say, you know, can we have him from Borussia Dortmund? Can you allow us to play him for a bit? If something like that would happen, then you might see the odds change quite dramatically. Because if the USA got Pulisic and Clint Dempsey, who are both on reserve for this competition, then suddenly I think it gets a whole lot more interesting. So I think it's monitoring it as it continues.
So we are sure that Mexico and the USA, like Martin says, will advance on the knockout stages. And like Martin said, there were 30 players on each team 1 month ago. Now they made it 23, and if they will go to the quarterfinals, they can use 4 from the others 7 that they are not starting the competition.
Okay, just looking as well now at some of the outrights for the first round of matches here. A team like Canada against the French Guiana, 1.57 for an accumulator. You've also got USA versus Panama, 1.72. Certainly as well under their new manager, USA seem to be, you know, they seem to be back. They're scoring goals. That could be a good price as well, 1.72. Have you guys had a chance to look at the first round of matches yet? I know we are covering them on Wednesday, but anything standing out to you as such?
Yeah, that USA bet to beat to beat Panama does look interesting. I think you'll get attractive odds on it because the last time they played, it did end in a draw. But here the USA does have home advantage, which could count for a lot. But I think the first round of games is a bit difficult. I think it's probably worth keeping stakes a bit lower for the first round just to see how competitive each team is, because a lot of these USA players have never played together before. As Alex said, a lot of them have 8 or fewer caps. So it's going to be really interesting, the first round of games, to see how well the players gel and how cohesive a unit they form. So I think the second round of games is going to be the real one to ramp it up on, and the knockout stages. This is a bit of a fact-finding mission here.
That's what I was going to say as well. Sort of any tips as well to people betting the Gold Cup. Obviously, there are teams that we know the players playing, but how they sort of work together as a team maybe is needs to be seen in the first round. Have you got any advice, Alex, to our viewers as how to sort of bet the Gold Cup?
Yeah, I think that they should follow us, because for sure we will be on profit at the end of the Gold Cup. First of all, that. Second of all, bet on Costa Rica to win the trophy. And if you like, for sure that they will exit to the group stage. And the odd of 7 at the odd of 7 plus 700 right now. And I'm sure that you can exchange if you don't like how they will play after the group stage, because either you will get your money back, either you will make some little profit. But if they play well, for sure that you can go also to the semifinals with them, and not only that, maybe they might win the trophy. I like really much Costa Rica as a team. They have really big experience together. The other teams lack of experience, and that is my point of view for this Gold Cup. For sure, for a lot of people, is not a lot of interest in the Gold Cup. But for us, the professional tipsters, for sure that we can preview and stay close, stay tuned, because we will preview every match and we will give our best tips from every match.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say as well. Sometimes, it is the love of the sport, but it's obviously where we can make some money. We did well for the Confederations Cup, and let's hope we make some profit as well this time around. Soccer might be on a break, but we are still making money. Gonna let you guys go now. Anything to add before you enjoy the rest of your Monday?
No, I quite fancy a small stake on Canada to beat French Guiana. Far bigger a country, Canada, with a bit more footballing tradition. The odds are drifting on Canada as well. They're shortening on French Guiana for some reason. So I might wait a bit closer till kickoff. You can get 1.65 on Canada at the moment. So I might, hopefully that'll drift out a bit more to 1.7, and then I might have a little stake on that. Maybe put them in a double with the USA. But yeah, keeping stakes quite low for the first round of games, and then going to ramp it up after that. Looking forward to it.
My only worry with Canada is, it's the same also with the USA. It's how, a team like Mexico, for example, soccer is in their blood. The same with the UK. Canada, it's more about sort of ice hockey and, like other sports. The same with the USA. The first round is definitely going to be interesting to see how they do approach, how they do approach this tournament.
I mean, yeah, Canada has actually won this tournament before. I think Mexico's won it the most times, followed by the USA. Very few teams have actually ever won this, but Canada has won it, which shows they do have a bit of pedigree. And yes, I mean, obviously, ice hockey is king in Canada, but I think there's still enough people to justify, them being the favourites over a tiny little island nation, like tiny nation like French Guiana. That's the strange thing about this competition with North America. You have these huge countries with hundreds of millions of people up against just tiny little islands. So there could be a serious underdog going on here.
Yeah. All right. So you're liking Mexico. Hang on, sorry. You're liking Mexico and USA, and Alex, you are liking Costa Rica as a sort of like as a sort of a dark horse value bet. What do you want to end with, Alex?
Yeah, it's true. Mexico and USA are the teams to follow, as the two teams together have won 12 of the last 13 Gold Cups played, and Mexico won the 2015 and won the 3 from the last 4 Gold Cups. So for sure that those two teams are the biggest. But let's not forget that Mexico, the last time they've won this competition, they were playing with the first team, with their strong team, with the team that played in Confederations Cup, with players like Chicharito and all their star players. Because we did together Gold Cup in 2015, and we already know who played and who didn't. So for sure, Bruce Arena is saying that he took this team because he wants to be focused on the World Cup qualifications with his strong side. Mexico cannot play with the same team as in Confederation Cup because, as Martin said, a lot of players will play in Europe, so they need a little time out from football in order to be prepared for the new season. So I think that Costa Rica has a chance. Also, Panama is a good team, like Martin said. Honduras, not so much, but there we are staying with these two underdogs, Costa Rica and Panama.
Yeah, I have to
And
say
let's
that.
not forget that Panama. Let's not forget that Panama won against the USA in the last Gold Cup in 2015.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Panama is in the same group as USA. Group B, Group A has Costa Rica and Honduras as the two favorites, so to speak, with French Guiana and Canada. And then we've got Mexico Group C, Mexico, El Salvador, Curacao, and Jamaica. So might be a bit maybe that's sort of reflected in the odds of Panama because they are obviously with the USA.
Panama will go through that. The Panama will qualify in that group, I think. USA probably wins it. Panama second, get through to the knockout stage, and then anything can happen. 8 of these 12 teams are going to qualify. There's only 4 of them going to get knocked out. So most of them are going to get through to the knockout stages. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
All right.
Another really good approach is whom to qualify from the group stage, and I really fancy a big fight between Jamaica and Curacao on who will qualify second from Group C. It's a really interesting affair there. But first of all, we have to see the first round of matches, and after that to take out another point of view.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Alex and Martin, thank you. I'll see you on Wednesday when we start the first round match previews. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Thank you.